Yo, 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 what it do, what it is, what it be like, baby? It's your boy Horror Spice with another horror review, geeked up style. Today, I will be covering Fall, and I'm very excited to talk about this anxiety inducing roller coaster. Directed by Scott Mann and produced by T Shop Productions, who also is responsible for a personal favorite of mine, such as 47 Meters Down. Well, Fall is about adrenaline junkie best friends Becky and Hunter who revolve their life around messages about conquering fears and pushing limits. They test their limits after they climb 2,000 feet to the top of a remote abandoned radio tower and they find themselves stranded with no way down. Now, their expert climbing skills are put to the ultimate test as they desperately fight to survive the elements with a lack of supplies and a phobia inducing heights. For the characters, we have Becky, who loses her husband at the beginning of the film to a tragic rock climbing accident. And Becky is having a very hard time coping with the death of her husband and is really not taking care of herself. Well, that's where her best friend Hunter comes in. Hunter is the complete opposite, and Hunter is the real deal when it comes to pushing the limits, and we can see why. Often portrayed as narcissistic and snarky due to having a huge social media following, Hunter feels as if she has to do the next best thing or try hard in order to keep relevancy. Hunter convinces Becky to climb to the top of the radio tower after months of isolation and spread her husband's ashes once they get to the top. I must say this movie had me gripping the edge of my seat multiple times. From the opening scene to end, directors and producers catered with great special effects and almost a virtual reality experience as to what it would be like to be stranded on a tower 2,000 feet in the air. Now, personally, I'm all for adrenaline such as roller coasters and extreme sports, but this is borderline chaotic. Chaotic to the point that we see how a huge social media following can affect someone's mental because ain't no way in hell you're gonna have me climbing a rusty 2,000 foot radio tower for your fans. Even though from jump you know there is something that's gonna happen, the writers place a good amount of optimism in the story to make you believe certain situations would turn out better. I think there are solid points in this movie, but some points left me still questioning the plot and felt predictable at times. A major plot hole, in my opinion, was the drone. When Becky and Hunter are stranded at the top of the tower, they devise a plan to use the drone in order to get help. Now, as a social media influencer, how do you forget to charge the most important equipment that'll get your best shot? Does the drone not take portable batteries? Another battery or something could have easily fit in the backpack. Another plot hole that I found interesting was that I didn't understand why none of the characters mentioned to anyone that they were going to the tower. You can tell someone that you're going to do something and tell them to kick rocks once their opinion comes out because guess what? Opinions are like butts, everyone has one. A simple, if you don't hear from me in 24 hours, come to this location, boom, would have sufficed. Third, when it came to the cheating between Hunter and Dan, Becky's husband, when did that start? How long have Becky and Hunter been friends? Did they know each other in college? Did they meet in college? Did they meet because of Dan? Did the dad know about the affair and tried to warn Becky prior to the wedding and she couldn't accept the facts? Honestly, why was she so mean to her dad? All these questions I would have answered. But lastly, Becky's phone has the longest lasting battery I have ever seen. I mean, an iPhone just lasting for 3 days on top of a tower. I get it. There's no service, so I mean, it's not really draining as much battery as it needs to, but yeah, it's a little far-fetched for me. Now, to talk about Tea House Productions and 47 Meters Down, prior to seeing this film, I had no idea that these titles had the same producers. But after seeing this film, certain points stood out to me. The hallucination was a big point, and I immediately had to look up who wrote and produced the movie Fall. In 47 Meters Down, the premise is almost the same, but rather than climbing, it's friends cage diving using scuba gear. Once terror strikes and their cage sinks to the ocean floor, they have to use survival skills and equipment to survive. One of the main pieces of equipment for survival is an oxygen tank, and with the oxygen tank, you run the risk of hallucinating if the tank gets below a certain point due to the pressure of how far you are down in the water. Something similar that happens in Fall, and it's very easily predictable of how the outcome is or what is actually happening within the movie. Fall is different from recent horror reviews because it's more of a survival thriller rather than an actual horror. But if you have acrophobia, a fear of heights, your heart drops more than a few times. Even though there is no slasher, I was terrified due to the level of anxiety produced from acrophobia. By the end of the film, I may have lost a pound or two due to palm sweat and little to no fingernails left. That's a great thing to have in a film. I highly recommend watching this movie. This is a movie that can be watched on a date, with parents, or with friends. One thing I do want to say is that I do wish more of the ending was available, but I truly believe that due to directors wanting viewers to feel as if they were actually in the situation for an hour, maybe more, may have killed the budget. And you should definitely check it out. That's another review from Horror Spice. Stay gup. Be sure to comment in the comment section. Be sure to like the video, share, subscribe to our channel. Be sure to check us out on all DSPs. Like I said, that's another horror review, and we are out.